Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Geeks and One New, where we gather friends of similar interests, maybe not so similar, and discuss, joke, learn more about, and generally have fun with geek culture. Today, we're talking about movies we never get sick of, or nostalgic movies, or basically movies that we just like, I could watch that over and over and over again.
Well, close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
Creature comfort movies.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Maybe even some what's the word? Guilty pleasure movies.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in.
That opens up that category so much.
Okay, we don't have to go that far, but anyway. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about some movies that we just love to watch and just never get sick of. And so mine, just to kind of preface this a little bit, mine's gonna be kind of put into categories of why or how I watch them, because there's different reasons why I watch them. So I don't necessarily have to go first, but who wants to go first?
Why don't you go first, since you actually have categories? I just have a list of movies.
Perfect.
So.
Okay.
So look at me. I'm Han Soloing this. I'm just making this up as I go.
But who shot first?
Me.
Okay. So my first category is movies that I can fall asleep to, because I can put on a movie. Yes, I know it kind of fluffs it up a little bit because you don't watch the whole thing.
Exactly.
But I can watch them to fall asleep to, but then I can put them on the next day and watch it again.
Okay. No, go on.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go through these because it's a short list. So I do Moana, Tangled, Tarzan, and Hercules.
Nice.
Amazing music in all of them. The one that I can put on, or I did put on almost every night for like a month or two, was Moana, because not only is the music soothing and relaxing and just all around fun, but the visuals are so just beautiful. The water, the boats, even the characters themselves were like, wow, Disney did amazing in this.
Especially the one that reminds you of your father-in-law.
Yeah. And Les says this himself, so I don't feel bad about saying it.
If you're listening, we love you.
But yeah, so that's basically my first little section of movies, because again, they just have such soothing music that can just lull you to sleep, but then watch it the next day fully through and still just be like, oh, this is so awesome. Great storylines, just perfect.
I guess I have a similar category. I hadn't really put them in categories before this, but I don't really put anything on when I'm going to sleep. I just need a fan and it to be super dark. If there's anything any lights on in the room, I'm gonna just start looking at it. I'm not gonna sleep. So, but for me, I guess a similar category would be having it playing in the background while I'm either playing a game or cooking or working or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so that would be one of those categories for me. And the first one on the list for that category is The Meg.
Oh, really?
I never get tired of The Meg. It's just, first of all, I love shark movies, and so just enjoying shark movies as a whole is the starter. But then being able to just the ridiculousness of that one,
yeah,
and just that one and Deep Blue Sea, I kind of rotate back and forth between those two pretty frequently.
There you go.
Not Sharknado?
No. I enjoy bad movies, but I have standards.
I think we did an episode on this one, right?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Movies we love to hate, or something like that, or hate to love. I don't know, whatever.
Something like that. But yeah, The Meg and Deep Blue Sea both are ones that I put on for background noise, and I'll just sit down and watch them too, like what you were saying. But I put those on regularly. Like it's at least once every 2 or 3 weeks that one of those is going on while I'm working, and I'll just like have it playing on. And despite having seen them both numerous times, I still get randomly distracted. But oh, crap, I need to get back to work. But I like this scene.
Yep. David.
So I'm just gonna come out of the gate with ones that I think y'all are gonna be most surprised by. The animated Beauty and the Beast,
Ooh, there you go.
Tangled, and Brave.
Nice.
The only one
all
out of
Disney
those-
movies.
The only one out of those three that surprises me is Tangled.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm not at all
Oh,
surprised.
Tangled's fantastic.
I never said it wasn't.
Yeah.
I know it's good. I just
But
wouldn't
for
have
him to say
expected.
it's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm actually not as surprised with Tangled because I know you've mentioned it before where you've said you've liked it, but just the fact that your first three are Disney movies is amazing.
Yeah.
And fairly recent Disney movies. At
Yeah.
that.
Well, two of them.
Two of them. Yeah.
So it was Beauty and the Beast, Tangled, and
Brave.
Brave. Yeah, Brave is fairly recent.
It's a decade old, my dude.
It's
But
still,
they were still within the decade of Disney that you hate. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will agree with you. Brave is definitely one of those ones. That beginning song,
Oh yes.
that Scottish voice,
Honestly,
So
the accents
great.
is part of the reason why I love it. There's one character in there where I still have a hard time picking out what they're saying, and that's the entire point of the character.
oh yeah, of course.
It's the one prince.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's really good list. I love that.
Thank you. So yeah, those three, I would gladly put those on just about any time. Also, any of the Winnie the Pooh movies.
Any of the Winnie the Pooh movies?
Yes,
Dude, that's awesome.
that hits me right in the childhood. So yes, absolutely, any of those.
Yeah, I have to say I definitely have watched those more recently than I should give
you're-
myself credit for.
You're a
But
dad now.
well, it was before he was born. I haven't watched any of the Winnie the Pooh movies before or after he was born. But
Soon enough.
yeah. But yeah, no, the Winnie the Pooh movies, even like the new one with the Christopher Robin one was actually pretty good. I thought
Let me
the
rephrase.
live action question.
Meaning of the animated.
Yeah, no.
one.
I know what you're talking about, but still, like, I actually really liked that one. Excuse me. Just I thought it had a really good message and everything. But
Yeah.
so
Since you guys
I
both
think
said three movies, I'll go ahead and throw
yeah.
one
Go for it.
more out. Another one for me, I'm going to have to go with Midway.
oh man,
Really?
Kind of a random choice, but it's one that I really enjoyed, and it's especially when it first came out on like digital. I watched that one probably close to like once a week when it first came out because I just
Okay.
really enjoyed it. And it's like it had also been a while since we had gotten.
Been a while.
I'd set you up for that one. That's my fault.
Yep.
There
And
haven't
you
been-
paused. So
Yeah, there hasn't been as many good like war movies in the last decade. Like, there's been a handful. Like
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but there hasn't been as many involving specifically like aerial combat.
yeah.
So like it just kind of like stood out, and it was really enjoyable. And it's got such a stellar cast too. Like that is a fantastic cast.
yeah.
Like they spent half their budget just on the actors that they brought in for it. But yeah, like it was just a really fun movie, and kind of somewhat keeping it in the aquatic theme since they're on a naval vessel
there
the
you
whole
go.
time. So, but yeah, that one was another one that I just really enjoyed, and like I put on my phone frequently still, and not as often as I did when it first came out. But yeah, that was one I still put on pretty frequently.
Yeah. Nice. It's kind of cool because like the war movies, like you were saying, like there's not been a whole lot, but there's been a couple that I've seen.
There's been a number of good ones over the last like 5-ish years, I guess. Like just the I don't even know if this was necessarily within the 5-year period, but the movies I can think of is like Fury, Dunkirk, 1912, Midway. I think that's it.
Mm.
Those are the
Was
only
it
ones. 1912
1912 or 1917?
1917.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
I was like, is there a 1912 and a 1917?
No, 1917. You're right. But yeah, those are like the big ones that have. And I guess Chainsaw Ridge was another one I had.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Or Hacksaw thing.
Chainsaw Massacre
I have
Ridge.
not gotten enough sleep this week. So, yeah, Hacksaw Ridge would be another one. But yeah, like there's really out of all of those, Midway is the only one that has any sort of like the aerial combat and then like the naval vessels and just seeing those big ships floating. It's like, okay, you shouldn't be able to float, let alone carry everything and float.
Yeah.
So
No. See, I'm still hoping that they pick up film rights for Lucky 666. That would be an amazing war story.
I haven't heard of that one.
So good. Anyway.
Cool. So all right. So my second list, it only has 2 movies on it, but it kind of is an overarching list. Pretty much any of the Avengers movies I'll watch. Every once in a while I'll go through and do a Marvel marathon. But the 2 that I can watch over and over again is Infinity War and Endgame. I can watch those anytime and get sucked in every time.
Would you say you could watch them in a snap?
I could. Just like, yeah. But yeah. Again, like huge Marvel fan.
you hide it well.
I
With the Hulk,
know I do, right?
with the Hulkbuster versus Hulk thing behind you at this.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Yeah. But yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Keeping in that same spirit, the next ones I'll list off would be the John Wick movies. I
And
watched
those were my next ones.
those are just like, I mean, like there's not many movie categories that I like really get into, but like the action movies is one of those categories, and John Wick, like just the whole series is just so good, and it's like it's one of those few series that it doesn't get worse as time goes on. They've just managed to get better and better and better.
I would actually argue the second one was kind of a weak spot in the storyline.
I would disagree.
Okay. As far as cinematography and choreography and gunfights, so good. As far as telling the lore, awesome. As far as progressing Wick's character, meh. As far as story elements and
like
flow,
what is there to progress?
They didn't kill a second dog. Come on.
thank God.
If they had, he would have raised
I'm
all of
dyslexic.
New York City.
Yeah.
It's like John Wick meets Fast and Furious. It just keeps getting more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, but it's like just the John Wick movies as a whole make me just.
John
I
Wick
really
in
enjoy
space.
John Wick Smash Bros.
Hey, Doomslayer's arguably going to be in Smash Bros. So
But yeah, just those movies as a whole, and especially like ironic that you mentioned the second one, because there's one moment from the second one that stands out for me in the whole series the most. It was right at the end when he's running away after being told this, like, you've been excommunicado, you have an hour. He's just running through Central Park, and it's like showing all of these people getting notifications that they can like kill him now. And it's just like this random mom with a stroller in front of her. She looks up like, I see you. And it's like, even the moms in New York are assassins? What is this place?
This reminds me of what's that movie? The Killers with Ashton Kutcher. Where it's just like the neighbors, all of them are just out to kill him. It's just like, come
it was just
on.
funny
the
'cause it's like-
Killers, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, yep. Well, not so much Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
It wasn't the neighbors and stuff. It was just
Losers.
It was just like,
Yeah.
It was just funny to me. It's just like everyone else that they showed as he's running through Central Park that are like looking at him and looking at their phones. It's like, okay, I can see that guy. I can see those two guys as a team. I can see that guy. and there's the mom? What?
Pulls an Uzi out of the stroller.
And it's just like she's like leaning down, taking care of the kid in the stroller, and then she looks up all menacingly. I'm like, that poor child.
The kid's just playing with the gun in the.
Yeah, right.
So
I'm still okay. Didn't want anybody to think that the kid offed himself or something.
I mean, they made bulletproof fabric with the suits. You'd have to imagine that she has a bulletproof onesie for the baby.
yeah, they've kind of already proven there is the equivalent of Edna Mode in the John Wick universe.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
What's it called? Plot armor.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
The first dog didn't have it.
That's part of
Yeah.
like
others do.
what I enjoy about it though is just like John Wick is in the middle of this massive shootout and he just pulls up a part of his jacket and if that's enough to block the bullets from his head, I'm like, okay,
Yep.
come on.
Actually, go watch the Hacksmith.
He's the real world's Batman. All right.
No, he's just Keanu Reeves.
He's not Chuck Norris, man.
As I said, he's just Keanu Reeves. Though, on a slightly tangential note, I love that this coming generation is basically getting their own equivalent of Arnie and Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they've got 3 that I can think of: Denzel Washington,
Okay.
Keanu Reeves, and Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Johnson.
I was gonna say I would argue
and
Dwayne Johnson
too.
as well.
You're right.
So I may have stolen David's next one on the list with that one.
Yeah.
Do you have
That's
any
okay.
more?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Good.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Not so much Pitch Black or Riddick, but Chronicles of Riddick for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, that's one that I enjoy going back to.
Yeah.
That one's a fun one.
It's pointedly overacted,
of course.
but the storyline is so engaging for me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, those ones are ones that like I can watch every once in a while, but it's not one that I gravitate towards because it's like I think the cinematography of it kind of messes with me a little bit just because of how like chaotic it is. But still a good movie though.
It was kind of filmed during that time where they were slightly playing around with the occasional shake cam effect. And it's like
They
there's
have not
some
perfected
scenes
it.
that it works, and other scenes I'm just like, oh, but why?
Yeah.
That's like an unnecessary J.J. Abrams lens flare.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So that one's definitely on the list for me.
Cool. I will say I am happy that I have heard of all the ones you've said so far.
Buckle
Give it
up,
time.
bucko.
He said
I'm
buckle
waiting
up.
for it.
He said buckle up. I said give it time. Like we know. Like,
Cool.
And actually, to be fair, you've probably heard the names from me a couple of times. I don't know if you've seen them yet.
Right.
But yes, I can almost guarantee you've at least heard me mention them.
Of course. We do talk a lot.
I've got one on my list that I think is going to surprise Dan. I'm pretty confident it's going to surprise David too, but I definitely think it's going to surprise Dan.
Yeah.
Barbie's Dreamhouse?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, since you said it, go ahead and say it because I can do mine after.
All right. The one I think is going to surprise you is Sky High.
That does not surprise me at all.
Okay, so it surprises me a little bit for you, but it does not surprise me because I love that movie.
I think it would be more surprising that it's on this list.
Yeah.
Not that I enjoy it, but that it's on this list.
Yep.
With how much you love MHA, I'm not surprised it's on the list.
That's fair, actually. Yeah, that's fair.
MHA.
My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like it was just such a fun, goofy movie, and it's like just the whole concept of like the school of teaching superheroes super things. Like,
Yeah.
it was pretty new at the time.
Well, it's funny because it plays off of the whole X-Men
Yeah.
side of things, but in a more like ridiculous,
jovial
lighthearted.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like the goofiness of like the whole scheme, and it's just like with the pacifier and all the villains,
Yep.
and like the
And the
ridiculousness
gym
of the
teacher man.
gym teacher man. Yeah.
It's Sonic Boom.
Yeah, and it's just like the whole like Save the Citizen game too.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much about that could have gone horribly wrong with all of your students.
Yep.
But it's just a casual game you play in PE. Like, what in the world?
Doesn't it remind you of like I'm all right. I'm gonna get flack for this, but like the Percy Jackson movies, where like they have the camp and everything, where they're
I've only actually seen the first one, so I
same.
don't have that
okay. All right.
comparison.
I'm trying to think of another one that you might have seen, where it's just like these things are being taught to children, and it's like okay.
Well, it's
yes,
like-
they're superheroes, or yes, they're demigods, but
Yeah.
still,
It also should have been like the whole like if you have two students who are undefeated in this game and they always pick villain and they always do some dastardly things while it is a game, there should be kind of a red flag to keep
Yeah.
an eye on.
that's
Yep.
Especially since you're teaching superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And you can emphasize either part of that compound word, and still it adds the effect.
Yeah, I will say though that it like they do say in the movie like we teach you how to hone your abilities. It's up to you what you do with them afterwards.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep.
The fact that they did these things during that's a problem.
Yeah, it's
but
like you would think with the like technology and the surveillance and everything that they have in this universe that they would have known that half of their students were planning this big coup. But
right.
What do I know? Disney fun. It was just
Also,
ridiculous.
DNA is a thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
just the whole movie is just absolutely ridiculous. And then also like Danielle Panabacher needs to be just in more movies and shows. Just-
agreed.
She's too good to not be in more things. But anyway, like
She's in the Flash show.
yeah, that's true, and she did a good job in that one too. But
Yeah.
like the character she played in that one, like was really interesting and fun, and just the whole concept of the movie was just ridiculous, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Agreed.
Okay, so get things back on order ish. Dan.
Yes. Okay. So my next ones is movies that my next movies ours was us is ones that I could probably put on at least twice a year. 8 movies in a row. Harry Potter. All 8 movies in a row. Like
Yep.
we will find, like my wife and I will just like start it just out of random, boredom or whatever, and we'll just be like, all right, guess we're sitting here for the next 3 days watching these movies. Like we'll have just some random time that like we're just sitting at home, just like, yep, it's Harry Potter time.
As soon as you said once a year, I was like, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Nope, twice a year.
We've been here for some of those binges.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like during like the October time when it's getting into Halloween and Christmas and
Probably
and stuff
annoys
like that.
y'all because we'll sit down and play a game and I'm just glued to the screen because I haven't seen those movies in forever. I'm just like, oh, I remember this.
Yep.
Yeah. There's such
They were fair adaptations of the books too.
yeah. I mean I haven't started watching them and I have them right here on my desk and I'm gonna read them at some point. But I wanna get to it. Yes, David. I see the
Curmudgeon look.
yeah. The twitch in the eye. But I did buy them so I could read them.
Which one of us is the codger of the group?
It's me.
But yeah, so that's
Yeah,
my
that one
that's my
doesn't
next
surprise me at all.
I wasn't going for surprise on that one.
So, I honestly discounted those and Lord of the Rings. Not because they're not movies that I'm cool with just sitting down and watching. It's just if I watch one of them, I feel I have to make it sets out my schedule for the next while.
Yep.
It's like that's more of a commitment.
Yeah, especially
those
Lord of the
movies.
Rings.
Yes.
Especially Lord of the Rings because of how long they are.
Yes. So the obvious choices for a series are not on my list for that reason.
Yeah.
Because they are just that good. Where it's like, no, you can't just watch one of them. you got to watch all of them, and it's a commitment.
Yeah.
No. So the next two I'm going to give are probably the last two that are obvious to y'all. Serenity.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
But that kind of goes along with the show, though.
Yes and no. It was done
Like, it
well
does
enough
stand
that it
alone.
is a
It does
Yeah.
stand
standalone
alone
story.
fairly well, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yep.
It's like I saw the movie before I saw the show, and I didn't feel like I was missing any context when I watched it.
That's good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. Yeah. So Serenity is definitely on there, and then Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Okay, yeah.
Not as obvious to me, but okay.
Really? Okay.
That one is a fun one to go back to from time to
Oh
time.
yes.
All right, so explain that one real quick.
So Tucker and Dale versus Evil is a very comedic comedy of errors. It's a very dark comedy of errors.
Okay.
It is portrayed as a horror movie, and in storytelling style, it's a bit of a slasher. Where you have the yuppie frat kids who are going out in the country to do their glamping thing, whatever, and like, very pointedly planning this yay no parents type of vacation.
Yeah.
And then you have these two good old boy rednecks, Tucker and Dale, who just inherited this rundown shack that they're trying to rebuild. One, there's so many in-jokes to old school horror. It's like, okay, yeah, I've got to applaud that one. Like, the shack they're in externally looks like the shack from Evil Dead. So it's pointedly any sensible person is going to look at it like, oh, no, run! And then you have these two good old boys walk up to it. Oh, this just screams potential.
They actually made a spoof of those two characters in Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So when Cable gets to that time,
okay.
the two guys sitting on the back of the truck, that's those two characters.
Gotcha.
Yes, it's the same
Okay.
director, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but if you ever hear someone jokingly, well, officer, you would not believe this, but we have had a doozy of a day. That's Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah.
It is probably one of my favorite cult classic comedies.
Yeah. So the funny thing
I'm
is
seeing
that
a pattern here. This is, 3 movies with Alan Tudyk?
he is very
very
good actor. So
Oh, I didn't question that. I
Yeah.
never questioned that at all. I'm just noticing a pattern here with David.
That was an unintentional pattern for me, actually.
well, Moana was one as well. So
Yeah, that's what I said. That was,
Oh, okay,
that
all right,
was
all
one of the 3.
gotcha.
I didn't say Moana. He did.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, 3. Okay, so 2 movies for you, 1 for David.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, like the funny thing is that when you were describing that, it made me think of an episode of Psych that was very, very similar, where they were out in a campground cabin and basically making fun of slasher movies.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Back to you, Dan.
Back to me. I didn't have any more written down, but I'm trying to think of some of the ones that like I can go back to anytime. I mean, like I can go back and watch like Back to the Future. Like maybe not anytime, but like that's one that I gravitate towards to watch when I don't have anything, like any shows to watch or anything. It's like,
They're certainly
yeah, why
iconic.
not? Yeah.
They're definitely iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those older movies that honestly you don't really think of as movies that
Park.
Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters,
Stargate.
Not so much that one for me, but yeah, so some of those kind of movies are definitely on my list of I can go back and watch those pretty much anytime and enjoy them. But,
I'll knock out a few series from my list real quick.
yeah, there you go.
So the first series I'll go over is the Hotel Transylvania movies. The first
there you
3.
go.
The fourth doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I just thought of one that I'll say later.
Yeah, the 3 Hotel and I'll keep it with like the Adam Sandler theme. 1 through 3 of Hotel Transylvania and the 2 Grown Ups movies.
Okay, there you go.
Like those 5 movies are ones that like I put on for background noise frequently, and I just watch them. Like they're just fun, goofy, lighthearted movies, and it's like I don't I don't know what it was specifically about the Hotel Transylvania movies that like got my attention, but man, did they get my attention. I love those movies. I go back and watch through those frequently because they're just so much fun for me. So. And Grown Ups too, it's like I feel like that's not too dissimilar to our friendship. Just the ridiculous shenanigans that they get into. So
I don't know. The three of us and Grown Up are two things, or two concepts that just don't really mesh.
Exactly.
that's the point.
That's
the point. They're grown up and wanting to relive things. That's why they play Arrow Roulette as adults.
Why is that the first thing that came to my mind too? Like that is something I would absolutely never do.
We haven't done Arrow Roulette, but the two of us have done the Roman candle duels.
That's true. That is true. Nice.
So, did y'all ever do pocket bike jousting?
No.
Oh, okay, that was just me thing then.
Wait, pocket bike as in like the tiny little dirt bikes or motorcycles? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
And a plunger.
Oh, jeez.
I have attempted with a tricycle and a pool noodle. Just pedal up. Whack.
That's great.
Nice.
See, I've done that with like in a pool, like getting up on someone's shoulders and
chicken
doing
wars.
chicken wars.
Yep.
Kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, chicken wars, chicken wrestling, that's always fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and knock out the Adam Sandler series.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. That's a good one.
Yep. And actually, you did just remind me of another series I know you'll have, but I'll save those for the end.
Okay.
So the next two that I've got are probably the last two good ones from this director, and I believe they're actually his first two. Brick and the Brothers Bloom.
Oh, okay. I remember you talking about that one before.
They're... I will say these are kind of odd ones. They are pointedly not feel-good movies.
Mm.
So Brick is a detective noir storyline in a modern day high school.
Huh.
And it is told beautifully well. It captures his style and still allows you to embrace just the setting of it.
Mm-hmm.
It is poignantly an indie film.
Yeah.
But Joseph Gordon-Levitt almost always does a fantastic job, and this one definitely shows that off.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I hope that's what I said. Yes.
Thought I heard you say Josie, and I was like,
Joseph
who
Gordon-Levitt.
the heck is that? But
I heard,
no, you're good.
Okay.
It was just my ears.
Yeah. And then Brothers Bloom, Adrian Brody, and
Sorry, my chair was squeaking, and I was getting annoyed.
by me or the chair?
No, by the chair.
Oh,
Yes.
Damn it, get out. You're annoying me.
Yeah. So, Brothers Bloom, it's Adrian Brody and Bruce Banner. Help me out here. Blanking on him.
Mark Ruffalo.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mark Ruffalo. One, just pairing the two of them up and trying to cast them as brothers is just a funny concept to me.
Yeah, two pointedly very different people.
Yes. But two, their personalities, as far as acting goes, fit in beautifully into the storyline. Where one is very much the older, cocky, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got this. We're good. And the other one is more bumbling, morose, and I don't know, man. This is sketch.
Yeah.
But I mean, both their characters were almost written for those actors.
Mm-hmm.
It is a film where Rachel Weisz is absolutely freaking adorable in this movie. But it's a very melancholy movie. But pointedly highlights this idea, even from a kind of a honor amongst thieves mentality of servant leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Which weird place to find it, but it's definitely there and hard to ignore.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brothers Bloom and Brick.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So the one that you reminded me of, Caleb, when you said Hotel Transylvania, I was like, oh, How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Yep.
Those three movies, but especially the third one. The third one, again, is one of those movies I can put on at night and like either stay up and watch it or fall asleep to it, and then put on every couple of days.
The music to that series is
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic.
and the voices and
There's really not
Such
any
great-
negatives from
Yeah.
those movies.
yeah, there's nothing I can point to that is like, oh, I didn't like that at all. But yeah, so there's that one or the series, and then one other one I thought of was The Greatest Showman.
I've still not seen it.
Oh, dude, you'll miss it.
Even I've seen that.
It's really, really good, and some surprising actors that work well together. With Zac Efron, Zendaya, Hugh Jackman. There's a couple other people I don't know their names, but it's just like those didn't seem like they would mesh well. But then when they do, it's like, dude, these are amazing together.
Yep.
And the storyline just being like, so the first time I watched this movie in the theater, I bawled my eyes out because it felt like me. It felt like, because the storyline is this guy that it's P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
But he's going through all these different business ventures of like, I need to give my wife the best life I possibly can. And like everything is just failing and failing and failing. And then finally he gets a well-paying job or whatever, and this part kind of fades away in the the reality of it, but then it starts going wrong and stuff like that, and it just, I don't know, the story is really cool, but then with music all through it, and yeah, so it's just really cool.
Nice.
The song "A Million Dreams," that's the one I like bawled my eyes out to.
Nice.
But yeah.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and knock out a few movies because I think I still have the most on my list out of everyone. When I sat down to actually like put the list together, I realized just how many movies I actually sit down and rewatch fairly frequently. So I'll just knock out I think 4 real quick here. I've got the Pacific Rim, San Andreas, 2012, and Rampage.
Ah, there you go.
Just all of those for different reasons. It's like for Pacific Rim and Rampage, just the big monster fight ridiculousness. Like, what's not to like about those?
Yep.
Did you like Pacific Rim 2? Just out of
I
curiosity?
did enjoy that one.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
I see its weaknesses
Yeah.
and why it wasn't as good as the first one, but I was entertained the whole time.
Yeah.
I wasn't bored. I was engaged, so
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Same,
Yeah.
same here. Like, there was definitely some things that were like, okay, they kind of went left field on that one, but
Yeah.
still cool.
Yeah, agreed. I enjoyed it. So yeah. And then like with both of those again, like just the big monster fight movies, that's right up my alley. And it's like I could kind of go in the same with Godzilla. I need to be in more of a specific mood for Godzilla, but it's in that same vein, that same category. And then I don't know what it is about like San Andreas in 2012, but I just enjoy the end of the world movies.
Yeah.
And it's like if there's a new end of the world movie coming out, I'm gonna see it at some point. They're just like there's partly just like the ridiculousness of it, like remembering back to 2012 and everyone was like, "It's the end of the world." I'm like, okay,
Yep.
Right.
right. And
That
nothing,
Mayan calendar, man.
right? And nothing significant was lost.
Except our collective sanity.
No, that
was
wasn't until
already gone.
2020.
Yeah.
It comes and goes.
Yeah, but just like both like with those, just how ridiculous they are, and it's just like in 2012, with just how ridiculous Woody Harrelson was.
Yeah.
Just like his
Woody
like,
Harrelson's pretty ridiculous in all his movies.
That's fair,
Yeah.
but that movie like kind of stands out for him for one of the more ridiculous movies for me. But yeah, like those 4 movies, just they're so much fun and again ridiculous. I keep throwing that word out, but that's kind of like the key for me, as it turns out.
Did you say San Andreas is one of those?
Yes, he
okay,
did.
all right. I just saw it on my list of movies here, and I was like, Wait, did he say that? Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
San Andreas, that was like one of the first like big budget Dwayne Johnson movies that I was like, yeah, I can get behind this. So let's
Yeah.
see more of this. And it's like he had been in a number of movies, but that one was the one I was just like, yeah, I'm on board.
Cool.
Nope. Yeah. So I'm debating how to put these next couple in order, if I want to try to group them or not. Yeah, I'll just give 3 right now. So, The Illusionist.
Oh,
I'm a little surprised you've heard of that one.
The Illusionist. Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen it.
Okay, I'm a little surprised. Okay, cool, nice. This is good. Yay. Yeah. So The Illusionist. The counterpart. Part of the reason why it's on here is because it was such a similar title that was released so eerily close that people were confusing it before seeing it. The Prestige.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I've seen that one too.
Yep.
I like that one
that
better.
one I'm not surprised at all. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hugh Jackman, man.
Each has merits. Each has merits that I can't say one is objectively better than the other.
Yeah.
I mean, one's Christopher Nolan, so that's gonna have a yeah. Yeah, and then the other one I'm gonna throw in there is totally unrelated, but I saw it around the same time.
Okay.
The first time I saw it was around the same time. So, Snatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, but I've heard of it.
Okay. So, Illusionist is a love story as told by a magician and his it was his childhood sweetheart, I think. It's granted
It's been a while since I've seen it, so
Yeah.
I don't remember the storyline too
Right.
well.
so he runs into her again. She's a courtier now. She's engaged to absolute pompous.
Jerk.
Yes, thank you.
Censor.
Thank you. Yes. Who is played beautifully, actually, by an actor who's just kind of known for playing bad guys and apparently is loved by his co-stars. So, good. That's the same guy who played Count Adamar.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Yep. Count Adamar.
Yep. That one's also on the list. Anyway.
Yeah. Duh.
Dang.
Can't believe I forgot that
Well,
one.
now I know what my next round picks are going to be.
Not if I get to it first.
Yeah, whatever. Spoilers? No. So, yeah. So that's The Illusionist. Almost everyone has seen The Prestige, where it's two dueling magicians effectively living out the concept of how far would you go for what you love, but the underlying message is more of, do you have your loves in order?
Mm.
So you have one who values the people around him, who values his family, but also values his craft.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the other who pursues his craft over everything else.
Yeah.
And it's this dueling mentality going on, and then that haunting final image of the clones and the tanks. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Have you seen those? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
And then Snatch I saw around the same time, hence why it's lumped in with the two. It's completely unrelated. It is a London gangster film.
Yeah.
It's probably also one of Brad Pitt's funniest roles.
Oh, I think I have seen that one actually. Now that I remember, because he was kind of just like a ridiculous character.
Yes, he is a Irish stereotype.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah. Now I remember it.
yeah. Oh, trying to think of a line that I can quote here.
Nah, it's all good. It's all
okay,
good.
yeah, fair enough.
Move on.
But I mean, the film is just beautifully snarky, sarcastic, understatement. The storytelling is
That doesn't sound like you at
done.
all.
Yes, right. It's the storytelling is done creatively and still coherently. Like there's a scene where you'll see the exact same situation play out from 4 different angles. And it's not until they continue on with that fourth scene that you realize, oh, he's bringing all these characters together. Yeah, but the bare knuckle boxing scenes are fantastic. So if anyone's done any form of grappling or fighting as just training, absolutely nails what it's like to black out on that. So yeah,
Cool.
Danathan.
Yes. So we really don't have a whole lot of time left, so we'll just kind of knock
Quick
out a
fire
few.
the last
All
ones,
right.
yeah.
So like my last few that I just remembered. So I'll put Ready Player One.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Star Trek Into Darkness, and technically the
that
original
the
one. That's the second.
Second. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one with Khan.
Yeah.
So the first one and the second one are amazing. The second one is my favorite. But then my last one I'll say is actually Uncharted the movie.
wow.
Nice. I can see that.
Yeah, that one. When we went to go see that in theaters, I was geeking out the whole time.
We all were.
Yep.
So like I can put that on just about any time and enjoy it. Okay, I'll add that last one on there because you reminded me of it.
You're welcome.
So this is a collaboration between David and I, but probably Caleb as well. A Knight's Tale.
It's actually not on the list for me.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's like I really enjoy it, but I do need to be kind of in the mood for that one.
Oh, I can watch it anytime.
I'm not faulting anyone that watches it, and if you put it on, I'm not going to complain.
Right.
But it's like if I'm going to sit down and watch it on my own time, I kind of have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to say, if I didn't mention that one myself, Blake probably would have punched me in the face. So.
Either of us, yes.
You still might.
I'm still waiting for a slap from him.
He's waiting until you forget, and then he's gonna deliver.
Oh, I'd forgotten. I just happened to remember it just now.
That's how I taught my son.
Yes. I dread it too.
Anyway.
So I've got 5 more, I think. I'll just list them off real quick. So Free Guy. Yep.
Yep.
Deadpool, Shrek, Kingsman, and Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I'm surprised Kingsman's not higher up on the list.
It's number 2 on the list. Yeah, it's number 2 on the list.
Oh, okay. So you kind of went.
Yeah, so Revenge of the Sith was number 1 because that one's like my favorite Star Wars movie, period.
Nice.
And so that's just I watch that one all the time. It was like there was like recently I sat down to like go back and watch through some of the like best action sequences throughout like the 6 movies because that's all that matters. And
Yep.
I watched my favorite action sequences for 1, 2, and then 4 through 6. And then sat down and just watched all of 3 because I just couldn't stop with just the action sequences. Yeah, so that one's just like, it's so good. I love that movie so much. And then Kingsman is a very, very close second. I was telling these guys before we started recording that when that movie first came out on Blu-ray, I legitimately watched that movie at least once a week. But in some cases, it was genuinely once a day for a month. I just loved that movie so much. It was like, and I was like going to work and talking about it with a coworker who loved it as much as I did. And so we were like geeking each other out and it's like, oh, I'm going to watch it when I get home. So, so yeah, those 2 movies are like firmly in the first and second place for me.
Nice. Very nice.
So my last couple, so both the Sherlock Holmes movies, because of course,
Yeah.
and both of those don't have to be back to back because they are set up well enough to be standalone stories.
Yeah. Very, very much so.
Yeah. There's a little bit of the side storylines that it helps to have seen seen them in order.
Yeah.
But
It's connected, but it's not
yeah,
fully connected.
that's fair. Yep. Stargate. Already teased that one.
Yeah.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Shoot, I had another one. I'm just gonna cap it there.
Nice. I will actually throw one last thing on there for myself because, again, Kayla reminded me of another thing that I used to do, not so much anymore, but when I first bought Civil War, the Captain America Civil War, I watched the airplane or the airport scene over and over and over again. It was amazing.
That scene was so good. Like I don't blame you at all for going back to watching that one over and over again because like I did that a little bit with one of the action sequences, and I think it was Endgame.
Alrighty, well, I think that just about does it for our list of movies that we can watch over and over and over again.
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of, yeah. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying listening to us, please keep on listening. We'll keep having our episodes come out every other week, and if you want to get in touch with us, we do have an Instagram. You can always comment on our Instagram there at 2geeks1noob. But until next time, we love you guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, bye.